What is going on? What is going on, everybody? It is Friday, May 10th, 2024, and we are all gathered here today to talk about a topic that has been floating around social media for the last almost week, considering that all of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today happened on May 4th, which, of course, was my birthday. All of that stuff was going on during that time. But I said, y'all know I was going to definitely talk about it. I threw in my 2 cents on social media on X, and we're going to be discussing it today. But if you have not done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new. And if you are new to the channel, make sure after you hit that subscribe button to hit that bell twice to be notified whenever I go live or upload a new video. Or you can just simply, if the notifications aren't working for you, just join the Discord and you'll be notified through there. Shout out to everybody that's in here right now, all the members, people over on Patreon. Shout out to y'all. And also, if you're on Patreon, I'm going to announce something at the end of the stream. So definitely, if you are over there, be sure to listen in for what I have to say at the end of the stream, because this is specifically for y'all. And all the people that send me stories, appreciate you as well. Let me go ahead and acknowledge the people we have in here. We have 117 people in here already. Again, make sure if you haven't done so to smash that like button. We have Sandra, Italio Rocci, Lisa Hickman, Sandra, I'm going to say Sandra, or it might be Sandra, Fireback, Craig Colsing, Janesta, Jared Allen, Hackson KT, Key Prince, RDRD, King Ashio, Zava Xavier, Denise Scales, Reparations Nations, Lana L, Junior Network, Samara Barney, DC Precise, Black First, Second, and Third X, Stardust Spirit of the Most High, Donna C, NP7, Letitia, Gerald Jarvis, the Mama Wanna God, the guy from Texas, DSM Sinister, Anita Harrell, Ma D, Wallow J, Speedy Thunder, Jay Cage. Shout out to Denise for being a member of the channel, for a continued member for 3 months. I appreciate it. DS Wrench Beater number 2, RC. J Doggy, Pisces the King. Shout out to Denise for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate it. Black Spider, Till Dog 12, Domino King, AW1, El Sheba Sekmet, and Xavier IB. And shout out to anybody else that will be coming in here. I greatly appreciate you all being here this evening. I'm sure more and more people will come through as the time goes forward. So, as we all know by now, the internet has been plagued with that Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef for the last almost 2 weeks now. It's been going on and on and on and on, and everybody has been talking about it non-stop. Even if you didn't want to talk about it, you really couldn't escape it. Shout out to Professor Black Truth, because he actually kind of said something to that effect on his moment of truth that he did, I believe, yesterday. And the reason why we are on here today, and y'all see the thumbnail, y'all see the title, is because Vlad, the imposter, as I like to call him, decided that he was going to insert his 2 cents into the situation at hand by leaving this backhanded comment on X. And then he ended up getting checked by an unlikely opponent, a woman by the name of Morgan Jerkins. Now, it's very interesting about this Morgan Jerkins is that there's actually more to her than meets the eye in the sense of who she is related to. As a matter of fact, the person that she's related to was actually a guest on Vlad's platform a while ago. And it makes you wonder what this guest, who was a relative of hers, has to say about this whole situation. So, of course, you know, we have the receipts pulled, everybody. We got the receipts pulled. We're going to go through this entire exchange and understand why Vlad went to Chad. Again, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button. I would gladly appreciate that. So we're going to start right here. Oh, well, would you look at this? And I said to myself, I would not be in the least bit surprised if Vlad tried to get rid of all of the posts that he made pertaining to this. So as you can see right here, this is Morgan Jerkins' page right here. This was a post that she made in response to Vlad in the comment that he made. But as you can see on X, it says the post is unavailable. That's because Vlad deleted his thread. Now, he was the one that pretty much initiated the thing. So when he deleted his thread, it took away the whole thing. So you can't even see. You can only see the response that she made and all the responses that people made underneath hers. And of course, the people that left comments underneath hers, they were pretty much saying, well, why can't we say this? And why can't, the usual suspects and how much they like to whine and complain about certain things that they don't need to even whine and complain about, but they'll do it for the sake of wanting to whine and complain. So, and like Key Prince just said in the chat, Professor Morgan or Morgan Jerkins is Dark Child's niece. For those of y'all who do not know who Dark Child is, he is none other than Rodney Jerkins. In my opinion, Rodney Jerkins belongs on the R&B Rushmore. He is a legendary R&B producer. Many of y'all have heard of him before. If you're not aware, if y'all have heard a song that he's done or produced back in the day, and you heard the artist say Dark Child in the video before they actually start singing, that was one of his songs. I mean, he's worked with Brandy quite a bit. He's worked with Michael Jackson. He's worked with a lot of artists, legendary, iconic R&B producer. But he ended up deleting his post. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, dang, now what am I going to go off of? Like, how am I going to show all of these receipts? Like, I told myself, I hope that he doesn't delete the post by the time I get ready to do this stream. And sure enough, that is exactly what he did. However, we always say out here, the internet is forever. So what you put up there is going to be up there forever, right? Even if you try to get rid of it. Now, keep in mind, this post was made on May 4th, but it was up there for a couple days. Enough for people to get a hold of it. So much, in fact, that one of those entities that got a hold of it was Spiritual World here on Instagram. Yep. Shout out to Spiritual World. I said Spiritual World. Spiritual Word. Excuse me. Spiritual Word got a hold of the entire exchange between Vlad and Morgan. So we're going to go page by page and line by line what he had to say, or what they had to say. Shout out to the 204 that's in here before we get to 15. We just getting started, y'all. We are just getting started. So this is how the entire thing started off. This is the tweet right here, or post that Vlad made. He said, Kendrick's Not Like Us needed a better mix. It takes away from the song. Now, shout out to everybody who has talked about this. I don't think there's anybody out there. First off, let me just ask this. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard Not Like Us. Put a 2 if you haven't. I heard it. I don't think I've come across anybody who has said that they don't like this song. This song has literally gotten so popular that it's become worldwide. Like, that people have already started translating into other languages. It made it all the way onto the Morning Joe with Joe Scarborough, of all places. Like, what in the world? How did that song end up on your platform? That's the last place I would have expected that song to end up. And also, shout out to Kendrick Lamar. He actually did a great, a pretty much unpredictable thing that nobody saw coming. He removed the copyright from the song so people can actually make money off of it. So basically what I mean is, for those who have reaction channels, if they wanted to react to the song of, Not Like Us, he removed the copyright notice or claim behind it so the reactor can get paid off of their video and he wouldn't get the money. And also so the reactor doesn't have to heavily edit the video to try to avoid the copyright. So there was a lot of reactors who were very appreciative and grateful behind it. And because of that, and because of the song going viral, anybody who pretty much reacts to that song, their numbers did pretty well. So a lot of people got a huge, or will be receiving a huge payout, or a good, decent payout this next pay cycle, which will be in June. Jacoby said it even made it onto the WWE YouTube channel. So yeah, the song has literally become very popular, and it's not even a month, not even clearly a month old. So it's everywhere. It is everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if marching bands, like at schools, like HBCUs especially, will play this song during halftime, or during between sets next season. It's everywhere. You might even hear it at a sporting event. That's how far this song has gone. But if you haven't heard the song, definitely check it out. It's a very catchy song, and it's going to be addicting. Like, I guarantee that you probably won't listen to it only one time. You're going to be bumping it a few times. But let's get back to this. I just wanted to put that out there. So this is where it starts off with, and then Morgan comes back and says, "You are white. This is a black folk affair." And this post right here triggered Vlad to hell. Like, he was very upset about this for some reason, and he decided, you know what? I'm going to throw my additional 2 cents into this. Now, here's the crazy part. When Vlad, this is why I wish he didn't. I'm mad that he deleted it, because then you would have been able to see Morgan wasn't the only person that was checking him about this particular post. There were other people that was getting on him too, but he decided that I'm going to go after her. Now, remember what I told y'all about soft targets. It's typically children, black children, boy or girl, I would say the wiser man or woman, or a black woman. I'm sure there were black men that were checking Vlad in the comments about this, and he didn't go after them, but he made sure to stay honed in on her. Specifically, I don't know why, but he just felt like this is my target, and I'm gonna go in on her. So let's go to the next one. So he replies with, "Wait, so a professor at Princeton," now I want y'all to really pay attention that he tagged Princeton, "is telling me that a white person shouldn't be allowed to voice their opinion about hip hop. Is that how you interact with your students?" Now, we all saw the previous post that she made. She didn't say that he couldn't have an opinion. Let's go back and read what she says. "You are white. This is a black folk affair." Where in here that she says you're white, you can't have an opinion on hip hop? But of course, he took it and he spun it, and he made sure to tag Princeton. Now, the reason why he tagged Princeton is because, like it says, she's a professor at Princeton University. So we peeped immediately what he was trying to do. They was like, why would you tag her school? We know, but like I said, at that point, we already knew what he was trying to do, what his accomplishment was. She replies with, "What I'm saying is that you put your opinion in a discussion that's not needed. This conversation and should center black people, not you." Because all of us know how Vlad gets down, and has been for quite some time. Let's move on to the next one. He then replies with, "Don't try to change your words now. I'll be reaching out to Princeton," and he tagged Princeton again, "about this on Monday." So now he's letting his motives be clear. "I'm going to get on the phone, and I'm going to dial Princeton, and I'm going to tell them that one of your employees, one of your professors, her name is Morgan Jerkins, on social media is being anti-white to me." Now, peep what Vlad just did. Now, I want y'all to understand this. I have to go back a little bit, y'all. Remember how and Rob, I'm about to use your word. I don't know if you're out there listening. The San Burrito loves to say that they and white people are two different things. Well, we all know Vlad has ties, or most likely is part of them folks. So, Vlad, are you what side of the spectrum are you on? Because I thought y'all said that you and PC were two different things, but right here you are acknowledging yourself as a white man. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. Very interesting indeed. Let's continue. But back to this one. He says, I'm going to be reaching out on Monday to Princeton. So now he's going to try and snitch on this woman about getting her job revoked or removed from her, or try to take away her livelihood. It was at this point right here, that's when people really started to go in on Vlad. And she replied with, semester's over and my contract has been completed. But thanks for trying to bully me out of a job for centering black people because you got your feelings hurt. Very retaliatory, huh? Nice tactic. So she says the semester is done and her contract has been completed, which means 9 times out of 10, she has the choice if she wants to go back to Princeton or not. So him picking up the phone to call Princeton would be crazy, especially since when you think about it, most college graduations happened last weekend. Usually college graduations happen within the first 2 weekends of May, because I know another round of graduations happen tomorrow, because typically a lot of times they like to have them around Mother's Day weekend, at least that day before. So you calling Princeton on Monday would have meant nothing, because who would have been there to pick up the phone? So we see right there, he doesn't know how this thing works. But he had to turn on his, like I said, he went from Vlad to Chad. It goes on to say it's called a quote unquote permanent record. Every university has one. I went to Berkeley myself. People spew ignorant and bigoted comments at you publicly and then act like they're getting bullied when they get a response. Typical victim mentality. Go ahead and take that. Princeton. This is the 3rd time he's mentioned Princeton, y'all. The 3rd time that not only he mentioned Princeton, but that he tagged them. So the school's official Twitter page or X page can see it. Out of your profile, sweetie. You just admitted it's not even true anymore. LOL. Now it's crazy. He's trying to gaslight her into talking about, oh, it's amazing how people can just dive right into victimhood, when that's exactly what he's doing right there. You're literally projecting onto her what you are clearly doing right now. Let me just tell y'all, this is a whole grown man. He's most likely older than her. I don't know how old she is, but he's most likely older than she is. Vlad is like, what, in his 40s maybe? I don't know how old he is, but I want to say he's in his 40s. If I had to guess, maybe Morgan could possibly be in her late 20s, maybe early to maybe mid 30s. And if I'm wrong and this woman's in her 40s, well, you know what they say, black don't crack, if we had to go based off of her picture. Damon said, what is his full name? Vladimir. Now, I can't pronounce his last name, but Vladimir is his full name. She replies with, sweetheart, before I was a professor at Princeton, I graduated from Princeton. LOL. So what is you really saying? See, he literally puts himself out there to hang up himself up to dry. But the thing is, he keeps digging himself and burying himself even more. So now here we have another one. Good luck being a professor at Princeton. So he mentioned Princeton a 4th time. This is the 4th time. I doubt the university supports their faculty telling non-black students to shut the F up about anything hip-hop related because of their skin color. See, he's gone so off the rails because he's known that he's put himself in a position he can't claw himself out of. She's literally going toe-to-toe with this guy and he's losing. And he can't accept the fact that he's losing a position that he put himself in. She replies with, which is not even what I said. I find it funny that you specifically chose to respond to me, belittle my academic background, and threaten my job when others responded to you in a much harsher way. That's why I wish that he didn't delete the thread. That way we could have seen the other responses that people made to him, so we can look at it and be like, Vlad, why didn't you respond to this person? Because, and like she said, they responded more harsher than she did. And based on how it was looking, what she said was much more tame compared to what others said. But he chose to go specifically after her. She says, very interesting and telling, but you got it. And now I think this is the last post that he made, and it's the 5th time that he mentions Princeton. He said, it's exactly what you said. You're just backtracking now. I never belittled your academic background, just the opposite exactly. I'm pointing out that someone claiming to represent a top Ivy League university should be held to a high standard. You're threatening your own job by publicly spewing bigotry while representing Princeton, 5th time tagging in your bio. I responded to you because all the other responses are from trolls and fake accounts. Well, how would you know? How do you know she wasn't a fake or a troll account? Is the question. See, again, let them talk long enough and they'll tell on themselves. He says you may want to think about getting a burner account like all the other bigots do. That's how they keep from getting fired. LOL. And that was the end of their exchange. That was the end of their exchange. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it. Now, I did manage to get the screenshot of this. So this post right here was made on Monday, the same Monday that he said he was going to pick up the phone and call Princeton. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this. Since it's Monday, let me clear the air and state that I never had any intention of filing a complaint to Princeton for former Professor Morgan Jenkins saying that white people aren't allowed to comment on Kendrick Lamar's music. Lies, lies, lies. Did y'all see that part right there? Now, we just went through the entire exchange of everything they said to each other back and forth, and he gonna sit up in here and say he had no intention to actually to call the school. You tagged the school 5 times. You wanted them to see it. You even said you was gonna call them. You said on Monday, I'm calling Princeton. You see how quick, like how much he lies? You literally said you were gonna call them. Intelligence being insulted. Y'all know I hate that. Y'all know that's my pet peeve. Y'all know I don't like that. He says she trolled me and I trolled back. No. She did not troll you. And you weren't trolling either when you said, I'm going to call Princeton. You were being serious. You tagged Princeton 5 times. Now, notice this. Notice something else before I go forward. He mentioned Princeton in this post, but he didn't tag him. He just put Princeton. He didn't put at Princeton. As you can see, at Princeton is not there and it's not highlighted in blue. So people were saying, wait a minute, Vlad, why didn't you mention Princeton this time? Why didn't you tag him like you did the 5 previous posts? He says, at the end of the day, it created an interesting discussion about race relations in America. I guess this is him waving the white flag and admitting defeat, right? He says, I will be discussing it further in my future interviews. So he's telling you right there, I'm going to find a way to monetize this huge L that I took over the weekend. We keep telling those black celebrities or whoever they are to stop going on that man's platform. I hope they do. I don't have the highest of hopes, but I hope that they do after this exchange. And it ends off with this, y'all. This is the last thing that he posts pertaining to that whole situation. Let me actually zoom in so y'all can see it, because this is not a screenshot. Like, he actually still has this up on his page. He posted this May 8th, 2024. And shout out to the 413 people that's in here right now. Again, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that like button. After I go through this and say a couple more things, then I'm going to drop the link. Look at this. He posted this on May 8th, 2024 at 11:36 a.m. After considerable reflection, I would like to apologize to @Morgan Jenkins for tagging her job in my replies during our Twitter exchange last weekend. But he said that he wasn't trying to get her fired. If you did nothing wrong, then why did you apologize? And when it came down to this part right here, I said, this is how Vlad should have gotten checked years ago. This is what should have happened with people like Vlad years ago. And we wouldn't even be sitting up here talking about him right now. But he's gotten too comfortable around, well, not around us. Well, not around me. When I say us, I'm talking about like myself, people in this chat. But to the black, I guess you could say the black elite, well, not the elite, but the, you know what I mean, like those black celebrities. He's gotten too comfortable. I'll leave it right there. He's gotten way too comfortable. Like I said, I wish it would have happened a whole lot sooner. And like someone said in the chat at the beginning, it shouldn't have come from her, because this woman, she's never been on his show. It should have came from someone who's been in close proximity with this man over the years. But people kept going to the show. Now, one thing I will say is, I don't know if y'all have noticed this or not, but before this even happened, Vlad's numbers are nowhere near what they used to be. Because at one point, Vlad was doing very high numbers per interview that he did, almost to the extent of what Shannon Sharpe is doing right now on Club Shay Shay. Vlad is not doing anywhere near that right now. As a matter of fact, people like TBA, Tariq, and Professor Black Truth can do more numbers than that man does on one video per person. And they don't have near the follower numbers that he does. And I have a feeling, hopefully, that after this, those numbers dwindle even more. And speaking of Club Shay Shay, I never got a chance to talk about this, but Vlad is a pocket watcher. No surprise there. Remember a little while ago when when Shannon Sharpe was, doing all those interviews. I mean, he's still doing them. But shortly a while ago, he started like getting mad and was talking about Shannon Sharpe's numbers and bringing up the money and all types of stuff like that. Yeah, you remember what those numbers used to look like. Those numbers that you ain't going to get no more. See, he basically admitted to everybody that Club Shay Shay is his competition. That's why I said now, thankfully, Shannon has that platform so they don't have to go to Vlad anymore. Especially with how that interview was with Cat Williams. Vlad will never get numbers like that. And he got that on one interview. He did more numbers on that one interview than Vlad has probably done on his most popular video on his channel. Probably. And now that you have all these podcast type of people popping up, and a lot of them happen to be black, that also takes away from Vlad. Vlad is losing his base to these other platforms that are black or have black faces on them. And I saw someone mention Taraji. I was going to bring her up too. I did a video a couple months ago about Vlad talking about Taraji P. Henson, because remember, Taraji was going through that situation. She was talking about her finances and everything like that. Here come Vlad trying to stick his nose in her situation. And I roasted that clown about that too. That was the first ever video I actually officially did about him. I talked about him on the channel before, but not to that extent. See, I say again, not minding your business. That has nothing to do with you. But he decided he was going to say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try to kick this black woman while she's down. Now, are we seeing a pattern here? We're seeing a pattern here. But with what happened with you and Rick Ross many years ago, if you did not have that altercation with Rick Ross and his team, you wouldn't have the money to start this platform. So yes, you could thank a black man for helping to jumpstart your so-called career on some fluke stuff at that. Let me just say this. And after I say this, I'm gonna drop the link because I know a lot of y'all have something to say. Nothing this man does is on accident. Understand this. Nothing that this man does is on accident. Everything he does is very, very calculated. It is very intentional. Everything. Why do I say that? Look what he put as the last sentence of this statement. I will be discussing it further in my future interviews. Now, you tell me that's someone who's very calculated, that they're doing something intentional and it's not just by accident. Anyway, y'all, the link has been dropped. If y'all have anything to say, please come on up. Wallow J, what's going on?
What's up, Torian? What's up, Chan? First off, I do want to congratulate you. Mentioned Shannon Sharp earlier. That interview with Cat Williams is now the most viewed interview in YouTube history, 68 million plus. So, congratulations to Shannon Sharp for that. Take that, DJ Vlad. I remember the first time I saw him on YouTube. He was interviewing adult film stars. That's how I kind of got to know who he was, and then he stopped going from there, and then he started interviewing, people in the culture. When I stopped messing with him was when he got on Casanova locked up. That's when I really opened my eyes, because once that interview dropped, I think it was like 4 weeks later, Casanova got locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I think I need to start listening to him. And people posting clips online like, yeah, I need to start messing with DJ Vlad. Vlad, man, he a fed now. I said, yeah, because every time a rapper or someone that does stuff goes on his platform, a month or two later, somebody gets locked up. And ain't no coincidence, man. It ain't no coincidence. Because guys like him breed guys like Adam 22.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kunk Hole 22 is what I like to call him, but he's next on the list to get booted. Because I'm about tired of him too. But I sat there and I laughed at him. I said something to him on Twitter too. I ain't trying to make sure I ain't try to get, my Twitter strike. But anyway, he can go to hell for all I care for. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet for you, Torian. B1.
B1. Shout out to Wallow J. And yes, before I bring up the next person, the Traveler Man, which you just said, I almost forgot about that. What should have really made black people aware of how he got down was when he got upset and decided, I'm going to be extra petty because Farrakhan doesn't want to interview with me. Y'all remember that? And then he started trying to make up these lies about Minister Farrakhan and all kinds of stuff. That should have been a moment right there. But let me bring up the next person. Xavier, what's going on?
Hey, Torian, B1, brother.
B1.
I will be brief. Well, kind of. This Vlad character, I followed him. I followed him a while back when I thought he was, I thought he was doing all this stuff in good faith, like interviewing or platforming black people or black celebrities and all that. It was not until I don't know, Godfrey.
Yeah.
the comedian. Godfrey kind of put a lot of people on what this dude was actually about. Because Godfrey went on an interview with him, and I forgot what actually happened. But Godfrey came out and basically bashed him, and I was like, man, this dude's an op, more or less. It's like he can't convince me otherwise because like the other guy said, uh, he wanted. I mean, imagine the people who came up on his show and I mean, if they were into something, they got next thing you know, they wind up in jail. You can't convince me that this dude wasn't like setting people up somehow. And I'm glad that this sister actually called him out on his BS because honestly, he really didn't have to say anything on this. He had no reason to say anything on this. Just be quiet and let it play out. It's really not your concern, but you know, the culture vulture gonna vulture. So
Yeah, and the thing is,
just had to.
and that's the thing, and the thing is, the comment he made was such a petty comment. Like he was literally talking about or trying to make the claim that the song was badly mixed. You were I swear he was probably the only person that said that because everybody else clearly did not think that.
Nah, he was drinking a whole lot of Haterade at that point because there's no one with ears could listen to that song and say that that was not a banger.
I would like to hear
even people.
I would like to hear Vlad mix a song. I would like to hear him to see if he could mix a song. He probably most likely can.
His would be highly unseasoned and tasteless. I assure you that.
Right.
That's typical of them. I honestly, I just like the fact that at least more people are getting are onto his shtick, and I hope he just fades into obscurity for real because a lot of these culture vultures. That's really what we need to do as Black people because you know one thing I've learned, and I'm gonna end it there. Like one thing I've learned over time when dealing with WS is that they never hand you anything for free. They're always gonna give you the poison apple. So someone like Vlad, when years ago I used to think, oh, he's platforming all these Black people. I'm like, I never actually second guessed it until shit starts happening, and then you're like, of course, right. It's never for free. You always got to sell something. So I'm gonna end it there. Thank you so much for letting me on again, as usual.
Oh, no problem. B1. Shout out to Xavier for coming up. And again, if anyone wants to come up, I pinned the StreamYard link at the top of the chat. That way, because there's so many people in here, I don't have to keep posting it and it getting lost in the chat. So if anybody would like to come up, I pinned the StreamYard link right there at the top of the chat. All you got to do is come click it and it'll put you in the waiting room. All right, next up we have King Covey. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you. So I ain't gonna lie, I was one of the ones a while back, like years ago, that used to watch Vlad for certain rappers and comedians that he had. And I don't know, it was just a lot of stuff that Vlad was saying that took me through a loop. I'm like, wait, what? Because he said something along the lines about how if we were to get reparations, how they should be regulated for education.
That's always going to be listen, that one right there at this point is always going to be a red flag. Whenever you hear someone saying something like that, that's the immediate red flag right there.
Now, he said that to both, who was that? Lord Jamar and Godfrey, if I recall correctly. So he said something like that along the lines to those two a while back. And I kind of like, when I heard that, I'm like, wait a minute, well, who are you to have any kind of say so to our shit? Like, that don't even make sense.
Yeah.
So that right there, that took me back, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, who the hell are you to regulate shit or whatever, have anything to say about our shit?
And never thought to do with you. And never think, and also remember too, whenever I would hear about Vlad, I would always see his stuff posted everywhere. I'm like, who is this guy? I would see his stuff. Now, this is back when World Star was still around. That's how long, for those of y'all, like, you know, that's how long Vlad has been around. And
Yeah,
I
he's
would
been
used to
around.
see, his stuff pop up. It was between him and World Star. And I'm like, who? And I always used to say, who is this Vlad guy? I never knew what he looked like. He was like a phantom. And so I never knew what this guy looked like, because whenever he did his interviews, he was always off camera and you would only see the guest. You would just hear his voice, but you never knew what he looked like. And then when I saw his face, I was like, oh. I was like, oh, this guy. I said, oh, this guy. I was not expecting that. Like, so when I looked and I saw him, I was like, okay. Are you still there?
I don't know what happened.
Okay, I can hear you now.
1 minute I can hear him, the next I can't.
Well, I can hear. I don't know what's going on
Okay,
yet.
here we go.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't hear nothing you said. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yeah, I think streaming, I was having an issue, because I was having an issue with it yesterday on the stream I was on. But basically, what I was saying was, I never knew what Vlad looked like. He was like a phantom. Like, whenever he would interview the guests, he was always off camera,
Right.
and the guest was right there. And I never knew what this man looked like up until maybe a year and a half to 2 years ago. That's when I finally saw what he looked like. Like, I just decided, like, his picture just kind of popped up, and he was like, y'all know the guy from Vlad TV, this is him. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, same thing. I never knew who this dude was. Apparently, he made DVDs or some shit back in the day. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that bullshit. But and I used to see the same things as that you just described. Like, I would see, and it was just like a bunch of dumb shit. Like, I don't know, just a bunch of ghetto fuckery. That's all it was, really. And I wouldn't pay it no mind. And then I saw like certain rappers and comedians. I'm like, okay, I kind of rock with them and see what they're talking about. And this is before I knew that those particular, rappers and comedians were on some other shit. So I'm just like, all right, this is before that. So I'm like, all right, let me see what they're talking about. And as I'm listening, because I'm a driver, I don't get to watch the interviews per se. I just get to listen. I like glance, see it, click it, put on the headphones, drive. And that's when I heard what I heard. And I was like, wait a minute. Something don't sit right with me with this. Like, who the hell is he? And then he just, I don't know. I mean, now granted, at the time, those guys, they did give him pushback and told him like, yo, like, who are you to, to try to regulate some shit or whatever. But I don't know. The dude's just been weird whole time. I knew something was off about dude. But I was just like, all right, well, he's whatever, probably an interviewer, but he's on some bullshit, clearly. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then this situation right here, I don't even know why the hell he even figured he could throw his 2 cents in a fucking situation anyway. It was unnecessary.
We know why.
Yeah. Still.
Like I said, he got too comfortable.
That he did.
But he found out on that day, on May the 4th. Now it has another, we can look back on this a year from now. On that day, he found out otherwise.
Yeah, well, I hope that he don't, get traction again. That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen.
Here's the thing. I don't think he's completely, quote unquote, canceled, so to speak. He'll pop up again. It's just that this is one of the battles that he lost.
Right.
And he needs to continue to losing more until he really throws it in the white flag and it's like, you know what? I can't do it anymore. I'm going away. I'm packing my stuff, and we are all waiting with bated breath when that day finally comes.
Yeah. Hopefully he falls off the face of the earth. He don't need any more traction. He don't need to be heard from again. Nothing. He's through anyway. Washed. He ain't talking about shit. Anyway, thanks for having me, man.
No problem. Thanks for coming up. Shout out to King Kobe. Next up, we got. Is this Key Prince?
Hi.
Hey, okay. I kind of figured that because I looked at the K and then I said the Prince, but you have your full name up there. What's going on?
Yeah, my mom calls me Key or Kiki, so that's my nickname. Yeah,
okay,
but
no problem.
My first name is Kenya.
Okay.
How you doing, Torian?
I'm doing good.
As for Vladimir, I'm over Vladimir. Okay, Vladimir, I haven't watched him in, I don't know, over 7 years or more. I used to watch him for some interviews when they had, good people come on. But I started noticing that a lot of the younger rappers that he spoke to, they ended up in jail.
Yeah.
after their interviews. So, I mean, anybody with common sense would put 2 and 2 together and say, yeah, he's a part of the Alphabet Boys. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad that sister spoke on him, and he didn't know who he was coming at.
Right.
And as far as I heard, I thought that he was married to a black woman. Vlad is.
I believe that he is or was. Listen, I don't know his relationship, but considering the type of guy that he is, I will assume that he was or definitely messes with black women. I'm only
and that's why he felt so comfortable in trying to check that sister. But no, sir. No, sir. You didn't know who you was talking to. And then he got even more offended that she's above him. She's a whole professor at Princeton, which is better than his Berkeley that he liked to quote. Sorry, bro, not happening. He should have been canceled. From he disrespected, Farrakhan, and finally Godfrey, and Lord Jamal was like, bro, either you apologize or we not romping with you no more. And he wouldn't apologize. So
they left
him alone. So I think last night I saw Godfrey came on and said that Vlad had finally apologized, and that was good because he never apologizes. Man, whatever.
Listen, that apology is so fake. He only did that because he got the backlash. If it wasn't the backlash and he had more support, he would not have apologized. We saw how he was going back. You don't sit up there and go back and forth with a person who works at Princeton and then tag their place of employment 5 times. It's clearly you have an agenda, and then you threaten to call their job on Monday, only to come around on Monday.
He really thought he was a part of the cancel culture community. No, you can't cancel nobody. You cannot. But we can get rid of you, though.
Right.
So that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, I'm just glad he got his wake-up call. Not only did he try to pump his, privilege, but, he's also a part of the little hat community. So he was trying to double flex, but that backfired. So B1, peace to the family. B1. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Shout out to Keith for coming up. Before I bring up the next person, we got Ozzy Edwards, a member for 20 months. Shout out to you for being a member for 20 months. This is anybody he interviews either has a case in prison or unalived. Sounds about right. I mean, go look at the archives. It's all there. Next up, we have Defiant. What's going on?
Hey, Torian, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, he's getting those Just Pretty Things views. I went over to his YouTube channel. I said, "Ooh,
the views I know them views are looking real in the tankish right now."
Yeah, and that's like everybody said, and I'm going to kind of piggyback. He got comfortable because I have a black wife. I interview black celebrities, and nobody's really ever really checked him, and that's what happens. And so sometimes we got to, not me and you, take accountability, but the people keep going on them shows need to take some type of accountability, because you're basically saying it's okay.
Yeah.
And that I don't really kind of fault Vlad at that point. I kind of fault the people who keep going on to the show.
Yeah. At that point, it's a choice. Like, it's almost like when a person who is in a position like, say, like abuse or whatever, and you try to get them out of that situation, but they continue to go back. At that point, you're choosing to be there.
Right. I mean, I like Michael Joel White's movies, but hey, man, come on, you need to read the room. I used to listen to Earthquake's comedies. I used to listen to D.L. Hughley's comedies. I don't really watch this stuff anymore, and because they keep going back on there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and so it's just like, yeah, obviously this dude is hating because back when back in the Mac Lessons days, DJ Vlad was the guy to go to. There wasn't really no black platforms like that, and so now he feels like Shannon Sharp just came up in there and just stole his bitch. I mean, just like, and he's getting jealous. Instead of hating and trying to say, hey, well, let me work, let me cooperate. He's feeling like, I own this, I did this, I did that. If it wasn't, he's not literally saying that, but that's his attitude. Like, for example, Nicole's view, like when she said today, she like, DJ Vlad blocked my documentary for a snippet of an ad, and he's been on this BS. He can't review his content because he'll flag your page. And so people don't really care if he loses his channel because he always been on that bull mess, man. And he's getting exactly what he is deserved. What you put out is what you get back. Instead of sharing and cooperating, this man want to be a whole culture vulture, king culture vulture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and just let them watch, just let them fall, and watch the people keep going on them shows. Now, I will grant it. I think what don't they do like a month?
Yeah,
A
like a
month
lot,
of
like
the.
yeah, like any, like for example, like if you see any interviews that probably come up, like probably this month or like within this month, were already
Mhm.
done before this exchange. But anything past this time, yeah,
Yeah,
they went on after the confrontation.
yeah, we're putting you on. We're putting everybody on notice. And DJ Vlad, you probably listen. You're still on timeout, bro.
And if you
You're
want
gonna
to
be
know
a.
how many,
Go ahead, brother.
And if you want to know how many times a person went on his show and you're unaware, all you got to do is look. It's a number that he always posts up on there. If it's a particular guest, and it'll have a number. And as
Oh
those
yeah.
numbers go up, that'll show you how many times a particular person went on. And like, for example, we'll just use Michael John White because we know he's been on there several times. For example,
Hmm.
Michael John White, if he went on there 5 times, we know he's been on there more than 5 times. But I'm using five
Right,
as an
right.
example. It'll say Michael John White and it'll say number 5 to
Gotcha.
indicate that's the 5th time he's interviewed him.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, anything after this, I say 2 months after, and then we still see a friend. We're going to have some questions, and we're all going to have to make a choice. Do we going to keep supporting your movies? Are we going to keep supporting the comedy? They gotta make a choice
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
because your bread ain't gonna be buttered both ways. It's gonna be buttered one side. See, black folks move the culture. Black American folks move the culture. We move everything that is said on this platform and some. And that's why we are the culture. So when some people say we ain't got no culture, I beg to differ. Now we black folks FBA has been talking about reparations for I think for several years. Now people around the world talking about, hey, where's my bag? That comes from the culture, man. That comes from right here. We make things move. We can tear shit up or we can build stuff up. We make it move, whether people like it or not. And we ain't got to say everything. But don't let people, but this is just a lesson to learn by everybody. Don't stop watching their stuff. If they want to keep playing this game, they thinking that they're better than you, stop watching their stuff. Let that man die on the vine. Don't even give him that, don't even give him an inch. So yeah, I'll leave it as that.
Appreciate you coming up.
Thank you, man.
And before I bring up the next person, shout out to Ozzy Edwards again for the 5. He said, Bill Maher, you're next for all the out-of-pocket racism you spew on your show. Listen, Bill Maher been on the radar. Been on it. Shout out to Harvey over at Your World because he stayed talking about Bill Maher. If y'all want to hear about anything about Bill Maher and stuff that he said, definitely subscribe to his channel. And also shout out to Peter that remains. I didn't even see yours. He says Vlad dumb mirror. I like how you put that. Is a vulture must be plucked from us. FBA Queen said, "Oh, Vladislav Lubovny, I think that's his full name, will be canceled soon. He can take that energy to help his people fight in Ukraine." Shout out to you. Next, we got JDW. What's going on? JDW, if you are there, your mic is muted. Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How you doing? Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So listen, let me tell you something, man. Tell you something. This is insane, man. First of all, this is not this. This is a message to all, and I mean to all culture vultures, not just black. I'm talking about that Allen 22 bitch ass. Who else? And of course, that so-called pedophile academics. Yeah, I said it because this man be talking. This man be talking reckless about having sex with young girls, but that's another conversation. You're being put on notice, and to all you Negroes who pull up on these platforms after what happened last week, you're on notice as well. So, first of all, shout out to that sister from Piston. for standing on business, and also her employees, her fellow employees, her co-workers, because they could have just turned coat on her and get her fired like they do to a lot of black women in the workforce who speak up. I remember watching this interview with Tucker Carlson. I'm gonna like bringing this up. This sister called him out on the racial double standards and put him in his place. Do you know that Fox News called her job and them niggas turned coat on her ass? She lost her job. She was a manager. She was a manager. And they turned on her. So again, like the brother said at the last caller. I'm sorry. All you Negroes are going on these platforms, you all notice. Okay? There's not one single black man or woman that should be going this Fed channel to have a conversation with him after what happened to that sister. Because truth be told, it could have went the way he wanted to go. And also, we need to apply pressure to these so-called culture vultures. Let them get that Rick Ross treatment. For those who don't know, Rick Ross poured up on Vlad, and it was an unfortunate situation for him. I mean, Rick Ross beat the brakes out of him. To this day, Vlad filed a restraining order against him, so he can't even go. He can't even go 100 feet near Vlad. But you know, Vlad and all these culture vultures, they need black people to survive. Mm-hmm. And shouts out to Shannon Sharp for being one of the first platformers to have a 60+ million view of an interview over 1 hour and 30 minutes. Vlad was never able to do that. If you look at Vlad's channel, there's not one single video that has over 30 million views. Probably the most viewed videos he has was with Boozy. Now, whatever's going on with Boozy and Vlad, that's not my business. But shout out to Boozy for standing on business, keeping it real, and you know, I seen that he's building a whole community in New Orleans, which is great. So shout out to him. I ain't got nothing against what Boozy does in his personal time doing interviews, but Vlad's not the only platform he goes to. He goes to a lot of black platforms that don't get the clout. Because one thing I noticed, when you look at hip hop on YouTube, the platforms that you are suggested to, it's not independent urban platforms that you normally see, like Urban Politics TV and other platforms. It's most likely Vlad and Adam 22. Trust me, don't believe me when I'm telling you. All you have to do is sign out of YouTube and look at the hip hop community, and you're going to see those two platforms being suggested to you to most, despite the fact that you're signed out. So again, shout out to our sister for standing on business, and happy belated birthday, brother. Okay?
Appreciate it.
Shout out to 35, man. Me and you are the same age, man. So hey, let's get it. So right. And as for Drake the colonizer, take this L, keep it pushing. Kendrick is the king. B1, brother.
B1. Shout out to JDW. Next up, we got Miss Uplifting T. What's going on?
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy birthday again. I think you celebrating all month, right?
I guess you could say that.
Yeah. My dad's a Taurus. His birthday's on the 16th. Y'all celebrate all month. So about Fed TV, about our friend down there at the Fed TV. Look, my biggest issue with him is not the tomfoolery that he engages in. I expect him to be very degenerate-like. My problem is the people that have used his platform for their publicity, for their projects, who are real silent right now. That's my problem. Yeah. Because the community came to the rescue of that professor.
But that just shows you right there. That just shows you right there We don't need them to like, you know, come to bat for our own, because they, like I said, their head somewhere in the clouds. I don't know where it is. We know where we at. So people was like coming to bat for her and like going throwing them haymakers. That's why I was so mad he deleted that thread, because if he didn't, we could have went through that whole thread and y'all could have saw, for those of y'all who are on X, y'all could have saw the people going back and like going at him while she was going at him. Like he literally was holding so many L's, but he deleted that because I'll put it this way: he got embarrassed. He got thoroughly embarrassed last Saturday when he decided to reply to her. Not when he put the initial tweet that started it, but when he decided to reply to her. That's when it went south, and he kept going back and forth with her. People got involved, and then anything that he posted after that related to that, people got him again. It was like, you might as well just stop bringing it up, because we're not going to stop coming at you for saying it.
Because every woman, especially women who have really worked really hard to achieve something, who've been the only person in the room, who've had people question, did you sleep with somebody to get here? Are you one of the token hires? Even though you're probably more credentialed than most of the people sitting at the table. We felt that from our pinky toe to our eyelashes. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
And so for him to not only be predatory towards her, but to be predatory towards the people that he has used to build his platform. Google the words for the audience: Vlad screws up again, and see what comes up. Taraji P. Henson was just 3 months ago.
Yep.
But see, we didn't feel like we needed to protect her. He just disrespected that woman. Benny the Butcher asked that man 3 years ago, why do you keep asking people about all the illegal activities on your show, sir? Like, he's a known pariah. And yet we've allowed him in our space, which says something about the people who are using his platform to promote their projects. Why is it why is it so easy and almost advantageous for you to partner with the predator, with people who really don't mean the people that you need? Because see, what really happened was some people started making phone calls about projects they got coming out, and they are really closely associated with him, his name, and his brand, and they know who buys music. They know who streams. They know who will cancel their subscription. And see, that's what happened. It was the financial pressure of losing a coin here or a coin there. But why wasn't protecting the community enough for some of these people, man? And that's the thing that just bothers me, too. It bothers my core that we, the people, are not enough for you. Exactly. We're not enough to protect.
Like, for example, perfect example, like when they tried to come for Kyrie a couple years ago, we down here on the grassroots was going in to protect, Kyrie, because we knew what kind of machine he was up against. Remember, he had how many Hebrew Israelites come out and march for that man outside of Barclays? I mean, I did not. That wasn't on my 2022 bingo card. It really wasn't. But when I saw that, I was like, wow. And see, he ended up winning in the end. He ended up leaving Brooklyn. He went to Dallas. He thrived. Joe Tsai, the owner of the team, he ended up getting fired. And the Brooklyn Nets that year, they just kind of their numbers just fell. So Kyrie ended up getting out of a bad situation.
And see, I think about the situation with Simone Biles and how we trashed that girl for the 50s. Remember when we didn't protect a cute little Russian girl? That girl lost her life, and then another one ended up paralyzed somewhere.
Yeah,
she never walked again. And remember how we treated Naomi Osaka after she won, and she's dealing with postpartum. Like, the way we treat people in such non-humane ways, and the people who greenlight the people that are in our spaces that do that for pennies and pay Ola. Man, we usually have to, watch our words. That's for the Patreon. We can't be down here messing up your, But I love you, fam. Continue to celebrate your birthday. Many, many, many more trips around the sun. And I'm going to celebrate my daddy next weekend. He turned 75.
Hold on. What day you said his birthday on?
The 16th.
His birthday is with Janet Jackson.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, and that is his girl. No, I didn't even realize that. After he was like Stone Cold Jackson. I remember being like 8 with my glove, but then I switched over to my Rhythm Nation, and then I had the haircut. Still do. Shout out to all the 70s Gen Xers out here that's gonna go out with our parents. And yeah, it's different having aging parents. It's rough, you know.
Yeah.
We're going through the transition, but we gonna put on our dancing shoes next weekend, baby, and we gonna dance like it's 1999 all over again.
Nice. Love to hear it.
So enjoy Taurus season because y'all turn up, my love.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for coming up. Shout out to Miss Uplifting T. And next we have John. What's going on? What's going on?
All good, man. But I've been, seeing YouTube videos. DJ Vlad videos always popped up. Now I saw all these celebrities who I've seen for a while or that I've seen recently. And I'm like, who's DJ Vlad? Popular black dude. I looked at the picture from him. I didn't know the man was white. That's number one. I did not know DJ Vlad was a white dude.
Because he tried to speak with that black accent.
Bro, I don't like when they do that, bro. We don't try to sound like your accent. We don't try to sound white on your stuff. Don't try to sound black on
Wait, hold on, John. There's a lot of background noise. I know, I can see that you're on the bus, but there's a lot of background noise.
I'm trying to see because if I can see that at a different section. You still hear the background?
Yes, you good now.
Okay. So I don't understand how you get how you get to disrespect us as the people who's giving you the clicks, the views, that's giving you the content is the people from our community. You know what I'm saying? John Witherspoon, you got Michael Shaw White, you got Godfrey. Majority of the people that's been interviewed on this stuff is black. And you know what I'm saying? So for him, so when I started seeing all these bad reviews about him and getting caught out, and I was like, oh, okay.
He has that colonizer spirit about himself. Like a lot of them do. They don't want to admit it. I forgot. I think I was watching Nicole's View today when she went live. It was her and Harvey, and they were talking about how a lot of them have that paternalistic mindset, especially when it comes to us, to make it seem like they are still on that plantation and they still are in that overseer mindset. Like they have it. Like they like we're still on back in antebellum slavery. Like a lot of them still have that mindset. That's why I keep telling people they are not removed from their ancestors. They are their ancestors.
Like no matter how many times you try to date, go chase all women, come to our community trying to friend us. It's like it's meant for you to hate us and all that. It has me, looking at Gary Owens on the side our way because he he's married to a black woman and all. We already saw what she was Michael Rappaport. We saw how he was about black people when they didn't even want to think about the Palestine and all this.
Yeah, that's another thing too. A lot of them, what they do is this is why I be telling people. I say if there's a person out there that says, "Oh, I have a black friend," or "My spouse is black," whatever the case may, or I have quote unquote mixed or black children, watch out for those people because I'm telling you right now, they have an anti-black sentiment about them. You can only imagine what they're saying about each other, saying about us in their homes. You can only imagine. I said to be a fly on the wall when they are inside of their homes when they're not around us. And a lot of the times they have these anti-black sentiments and they're not even around not one black person, but they have all the time in the world to say something about us.
Bro, let me tell you something. I did my own little journalism on one of my Instagram videos about this guy, and he's named David Tupper. He was a security guard, and man, I can't tell you how much he made us all security officers bad, but yeah, he was a temporary security officer for a security company, and he was married to a black woman, but he's from Texas, and then so you think people think like, oh, he's not racist. He's like a black woman. One of these black people in the gas station confronted him after trying to nearly hit them, rear end them or something, and she went to confront him. And there's a couple who, the white guy who was being recorded, is telling this black woman, "You're trash. You're an N-word. You're this, this, this." And I'm like, wait a minute, ain't you married to a black woman? I was looking at that. I realized, you know what? We got to come to a conclusion. These people date us, to hide their racism. It's like another way to like, somehow get an N-word pass, or how their racial. I feel like they're around us to get, to see what we really think, how they really true about us, or what kind of agenda we have, or what kind of plans we have. Because it's like that knows that they're willing to play, love love with blacks to get the insider on us, and it's like very annoying. Like we're being used and not being, and we're not realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
So what ended up happening a few days after, according to David Tupper's black wife, now his widow, she put on a Facebook post that he passed away from a motorcycle accident. And I did another video about that too. I was like, oh. And when I heard about that, I was like, oh, God works in mysterious ways. I said, don't play with the children. But yeah, he had passed away. It's not an unfortunate thing. I don't care nothing about racist people who's with the racism and all that hate me because my skin color. I don't feel nothing for them. But yeah, obviously his wife, I don't know if she's a tether, coon. She probably looking for another white man because after seeing that video, you think after she saw that video where her husband was into that black woman, she'd be like, I'm leaving. But she never showed that type of mentality. So yeah, I'm gonna assume that she's like one of the Candace Owens type. And, but yeah, Vlad is a fraud. I think we should start calling him DJ Fraud, playing us. And the more they keep going to his interviews, the more he keeps getting clicks and views, the more we're gonna hear from him. You know what I'm saying? So for him to try to get that lady fired, that's messed up. Like, you should say whatever.
Hey Jonathan, I might have to actually let you go because it's like really, really loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried to let you like stay on, but it's really loud.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off because there's too many people. I don't want to cause no distraction.
Okay. All right. Next up, we got Mahari Nation Sports Podcast.
Hey, what's up, Toy and Rain? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Do you hear any background noise? Are you good?
It's kind of faded into the background. I don't know if you got a TV on or not, but it's not completely distracting.
Okay, because I'm at a Walgreens store, so I'm trying to make sure it's not distracting for you. Yeah. But I was gonna jump in and make this point about with Vlad TV. The thing that I have an issue with Vlad TV is that the fact that many of our people have always given his platform the opportunity to spill out a lot of the information and a lot of the dirty details that it should not even be released to the public. And then the authorities use that information, and then basically a lot of people end up going to jail in the process. The thing that I've never ever listened to Vlad TV other than one interview with the idiot Eddie Griffin, but that's a subject for another day. But when he did the interview about disparaging Louis Farrakhan, I'm sure you remember how our people were pretty much denounced them entirely. But then you still had some people that basically defended him, and then he still doubled down on stupid. If that didn't give you a reminder about who he really is as a person, I mean, the fact is he's a culture vulture. That's what he is. If you looked at his people don't even look at his background. He's from Russia. Like
Yeah.
he's literally from Russia, and he assimilated himself into black culture, and literally has been using our culture to for his own personal profit. That's what it is. Though. So at the end of the day, if people don't have the understanding about who he is, I don't know what else to tell you. But I'm glad he got exposed about what he is on Twitter, because everything you say on Twitter is going to be recorded, and people will screenshot it and then use that information as ammunition to get you. And
Yeah,
I
exactly. That's why, like, even though he deleted the thread itself, I had to go on the Instagram and pull it up because
yep.
he deleted it. And like I said, when you put stuff out there on the internet like that, it's forever. And because of who he is and because of the situation at hand, did he really think nobody was going to screenshot that whole thing? Like, did he really think that just deleting that post was going to just make it go away? Mind you, again, that post stayed up a few days. It stayed up for a few days after the fact. That's why it was easy for people to go ahead and retrieve that. They probably got it, honestly, almost as soon as after it happened. So there was no amount of deletion in the world he could have did to have that go away. Like, all you got to do is just go online and type in Vlad and Morgan Jerkins, and it pops right on up.
Exactly. Like literally, it just stays there for a good period of time. And even for someone who can be technologically savvy, all they gotta do is go through the thread, and they can retrieve the deleted tweet. Like, just because you deleted it does not mean it's deleted for good. You would have to have super technology to basically clean up your entire computer system or your entire, Twitter system. So like, he's really that dumb. And the fact that he would go after a professor whose family member is a well-known music producer who's basically produced some of the best music in this country and worked with some of the best producers in the world. Like, he really bit off more than he could chew, and he's paying the price for it. And I'm glad he's paying the price for it, because he flat out deserves it, and he doesn't get any of our respect, none whatsoever. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, man, and let other people, chop it up though. But I just wanted to go ahead and speak my mind on the situation. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
I appreciate you. Thanks for coming up. Next, we have Keith. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Tori?
I'm doing good.
Doing well. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You exactly right. I just been sitting in there, cloud watching, so to speak. They've been doing this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing this for a while, and it's sad because I'm an older cat, and we've been trying to call this out, but then when you get to the younger generations, oh no, he cool. We like, no, you don't know how they get down, and that they have you ever heard the stories about rubbing people's head? You know, the first Bat Boys. Yeah. It's they gotta have a connection to us to a certain extent. My father taught me that. He fought in the Second World War, so he know all this stuff. So there's a connection they got to have to us. And Nate Turner's skull, I'm from Ohio originally. I'm in Panama City now. His skull was found outside of Akron.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people. See, this is things you got to be able to talk to people about. And like I said, I'm not going to be too long-winded with this, but they can't survive without us. You notice when we you're like, nah, we good, this, that, and the other. Well, where are you going with it? I mean, why are you acting like that? And we should be together. You ever notice that? We'd be like, we kind of want to do our own thing over here. We good. We ain't got a problem with y'all. They always saying we being what's the term they say? Not anti-racist, but you know the term I'm talking about.
The anti-white one? You talking about that?
They talk about like y'all being racist toward us. Well, you keep coming at us and doing stuff. So when we say we don't want to be bothered with you, then all of a sudden it's why? Because they can't do nothing without us. They can't do nothing. They didn't accomplish anything in these states without us. I know that.
even down like I said this on X, even down to their grifting. Whenever they grift, at the foundation of every grifter's grift, and it doesn't even matter if they're white, black, or any other ethnic group, they have
Right.
to degrade black people, specifically black Americans, first in order to
Oh,
get that leg up. I mean, look at
oh,
Candace Owens, Fakem, the Hodge
I,
twins, ABL,
oh,
Terrence K.
all of
Williams, and so many more. They have to
them.
be down on. I don't know if y'all have caught it now, but look at what just recently happened with ramen noodles in that interview he did with Ann Coulter recently, and I'm gonna talk
Oh,
about
that was
that.
great. That was great.
I'm actually talking. That's actually going to be on my midday stream on Monday. I'm gonna talk about that.
I'll be
This,
watching. I'll be watching.
this man literally got called basically a slur. Well, she was being, I guess you could say, anti-Indian to him right there to his face on his platform, and this guy's right now trying to like cop pleas on X, and while he's doing that, he's throwing black people out there like we were the ones that was sat in front of him and said those things.
Tori,
Literally right now.
did you see his face when she first started talking? She said, you very articulated. You just said to the black.
Exactly. That's the same. I said that's the same insult they like to use with us. I said, black people don't take that as a compliment when they say that. That is an insult.
Oh no. But he was ready to jump out of his tap dancing shoes, wasn't he? But then she said, when she can't, yeah, but by the way, I don't like you either.
She said,
he
I
was
didn't.
sitting there.
She said, I didn't vote for you because you're Indian. Man, his smile turned to a frown so fast.
And he is the epitome of a brown noser.
Yes.
And his nose is brown. And he's a brown nose. He got his sand ninja moment. Mm-hmm. That's what he got.
Yep, I'm actually I'm literally like as we talking, I'm literally bookmarking these tweets so I can have some more stuff to talk about on Monday when it comes to that, because it's like more than just the interview. I'm not going to go through the whole interview because the whole interview was like over an hour long, but it's just a 10-minute window of that interview that really talks about the part that we're talking about right now.
Oh, she put him in his place, and he sat there and with an empty bowl of curry. And took it.
Yeah, she had her dagger. She had her daggers for us, and he loved it. But when she took her dagger and threw it in his direction, he got upset. And I'm not gonna go too much more into it because I'm gonna save that for Monday. So for those of y'all who didn't get a chance to watch it, like y'all can go and watch the whole interview. It's just go on YouTube and just type in Vivek and Coulter interview, and you should be able to find it. And it's like the whole interview is like an hour long if you can stomach it.
Yeah, I watched it. But one more thing before I get off. Mm-hmm. This pertains to what I'm saying with how they can't survive without us. Have you been, when this first happened, it's been about, that was late last week, right? Around in there. Mm-hmm. It's been a week and a half. I had a white guy that I work with that shows me some TikTok videos. They be having some weird little stuff on there.
Yeah.
I've been on 4chan before. And just sat there and crowd watched it. Yeah, I crowd watched because it's like just like they sit and crowd watch you. Mm-hmm. We need to sit and crowd watch them. So he showed me a video where it's a big thing going on right now, and I hope you pick this one up, buddy. Hope you pick this one up, my man. They got a little thing about when they have like cocktail parties now, mm-hmm. and weddings, where they bring in chocolate moldings of black people and eat it.
Yeah, I've seen videos of that, and it's to say it's weird would be an understatement.
But
I've seen it's one video in particular that comes to mind, and I'm sure you and people in the chat have seen this video because that video has been floating around social media for a few years now. And now that you bring it up, the imagery just came into my mind, and it's like it's so wild. I just keep telling people, imagine being a fly on the wall when they're not around you, just to see how they interact with each other, especially when we become a topic of discussion for them.
Yeah, I just wanted, that's the reason why I brought up the Nate Turner skull back in Ohio. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why they got some kind of sick obsession
Yeah.
with us.
Oh yeah, it goes back. Oh, it goes back years. It's a historical thing. Like, think about what they used to do with men's genitals and putting them in the mason jars.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, listen, we not making this stuff up. Like,
No, I know.
y'all can go back and look through the history of how absolutely disgusting the colonizer is. Like, that's the best way I can call it.
That is crazy. They used to have a thumbs up and with who got what body part. That's crazy.
Almost like an
and now you also see it. I'm gonna get off here, Torian. I don't want to keep being long winded. That's why you seeing them bodies coming up, guys locked up in jail and they missing their internal organs.
Yep, organ harvesting.
Yes, they don't do that to the Puerto Ricans. They don't do that to the Afghans. They don't do that they do it to us. And with that one, man, I hope you do a video on that one, because that one came out the same time. He wanted the DJ Vlad, which is trash, went after her, and that's when I started looking at that video. He came up and showed it to me. I said, man, y'all got an obsession with us.
Definitely.
And it was a white guy that showed me that. So with that one, man, I'll land my plane. I know you got a lot of people. Man, check into that eating the birthday cakes or the chocolate moldings, man. That stuff is weird.
I saw that. I know exactly what video you're talking about.
Okay, man. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
All right.
Thanks, Keith, for coming up. All right, I think Keith was the last person because there's nobody else here. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream right here. We did about an hour and a half, which is a pretty good run time for us on a Friday evening. Shout out to everybody that came in and spoke and gave their take on the topic at hand. We had over 500 people in here. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Denise for being a member for 3 months, the super sticker as well. P that remains, Ozzy for being a member for 20 months. Also, shout out to Ozzy again for the 5. FBA Queen sent the 5, and so did Janesta. Shout out to each and every one of you. Now, like I said at the beginning of the stream, for those of you all who are subscribed to my Patreon, tomorrow I will be having my first ever Patreon live stream. That is going to be available to everybody who is subscribed to my Patreon, whether you are a paid member or a free member. So if you are a free member or paid member of my Patreon, I will be going live on Patreon for the first time tomorrow, because I told people that when I reached 100 subscribers, Patreon subscribers, I was going to go live on there, and I'm currently at 103. So I will be going live on there tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that should be very interesting. There was a story that was sent to me, and I said, you know what? I can't cover that just with the regular video. Let me go ahead and turn it into a live stream, and it's a doozy of a video. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, to hit that subscribe button on the live stream, and you can catch that live stream. And of course, we will have the 11 a.m. premiere video coming tomorrow as well. And shout out to Lisa Hickman for the $5 super sticker. Oh, okay. Let me drop the link to the Patreon. I should post it up on the community tab as well. Hold on. All right, y'all. So that's the link to the Patreon. I'll post it again on the community tab after I'm done with the stream. So if anybody wants to join it, like I said, the live stream tomorrow will be available to all members, whether you are a free member or if you are a paid member. So I don't want to exclude anybody when it comes to the live streams. So that will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. So I got all of that set up. One thing I like about Patreon is they're good with their notification system. I will say that their notifications always go out. So with that being said, y'all, enjoy the rest of your evening. We will be back on here tomorrow with the 11 a.m. and of course on Patreon tomorrow at 6 for the live. Be safe and be one.